Theme 1, Writing and City Life, Question Answers from Class 11, Subject History. Exercises, answer in brief. Question 1, why do we say that it was not natural fertility and high levels of food production that were the causes of early urbanization? Answer, although fertile soil and abundant food production provided a surplus necessary for a settled life, they alone did not lead to urbanization. Early urbanization depended on additional factors such as the development of complex administrative systems, including writing, the division of labor, and an organized social structure that could manage trade, surplus distribution, and specialized craftsmanship. In other words, while natural fertility created the possibility for surplus, it was society's ability to manage and use that surplus through new institutions and technologies that truly spurred urban growth. Second, which of the following were necessary conditions and which the causes of early urbanization? And which would you say were the outcome of the growth of cities? A. Highly productive agriculture. Necessary condition. It provided a food surplus essential to support growing non-farming urban populations. B. Water transport. Necessary condition. Proximity to rivers and the use of water transport facilitated the movement of goods, connecting cities with rural and distant regions. C. The lack of metal and stone. Cause. Because local resources were not abundant, people's need to exchange surplus agricultural produce for these materials spurred trade, increased extra-regional contacts, and indirectly encouraged urban development. D. The division of labor. Necessary condition and cause. As agriculture produced surpluses, people could specialize in different trades. This division of labor allowed for crafts, trade, and services that are the backbone of urban society. E. The use of seals. Cause. The development and use of seals indicate advanced administrative control, recording transactions, authenticating goods, and thereby consolidating urban economic organization. F. The military power of kings that made labor compulsory. Cause. The central authority enforced by kings ensured that large-scale public projects such as temple construction, city walls, and irrigation systems were completed, thus playing a direct role in urban formation. Question 3. Why were mobile animal herders not necessarily a threat to town life? Answer. Mobile animal herders, due to their itinerant lifestyle, typically engaged in complementary economic interactions with urban centers. They brought products such as milk, meat, and hides for trade, exchanging them for manufactured goods or agricultural produce. Their mobility meant they were often on the move to find fresh pastures rather than settle permanently, reducing direct competition with town dwellers. Thus, instead of posing a threat, they often played a key role in sustaining dynamic trade networks between rural and urban regions. Question 4. Why would the early temple have been much like a house? Answer. Early temples were built by settled communities at a local level and usually started as small shrines constructed from locally available materials like unbaked bricks. Their design often featured an open courtyard surrounded by small rooms, paralleling the layout of a domestic house. Temples served a dual role as the dwelling places of deities and as centers of community life, where religious, administrative, and even some economic activities took place. This domestic style symbolized the idea that the deity's residence was close to and an integral part of everyday life. Next, answer in a short essay. Question 5. Of the new institutions that came into being once city life had begun, which would have depended on the initiative of the king? Answer. Once city life began, a number of institutions emerged that were crucial for the functioning and control of urban society, and many of these depended directly on the initiative of the king. First, centralized administration and record keeping, including the development of writing and the use of seals, were established to manage surplus production, regulate trade, and maintain detailed accounts of transactions. The king's intervention was vital in organizing this bureaucratic framework because it required coordination on a scale that only a centralized authority could support. Additionally, the construction and expansion of public infrastructure such as fortification walls, roads, irrigation systems, and grand temples were largely state-sponsored projects. The king mobilized and directed labor, often enforced through his military power, to build these structures, thereby ensuring the city's defense, efficient resource distribution, and overall economic stability. Moreover, the regulation of trade and the establishment of markets were linked to the king's ability to set policies that stimulated commerce and fostered inter-regional exchanges. In essence, the emergence of these institutions, ranging from administrative systems and legal codes to public works and trade regulation, displayed the central role of royal initiative in transforming and sustaining city life. Without the king's active intervention and the authority to enforce labor and project organization, the complex urban mechanisms that defined early cities might not have taken root or flourished to the extent that they did. Question 6. What do ancient stories tell us about the civilization of Mesopotamia? Answer. Ancient stories and epic narratives, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh, offer a window into the rich cultural, social, and religious fabric of Mesopotamian civilization. These accounts underscore the profound relationship the Mesopotamians had with the supernatural, revealing a worldview in which gods played an active role in the affairs of human society. The myths not only recount heroic adventures and the exploits of legendary kings, but also provide insight into the values, fears, and aspirations of a society that saw itself as both mighty and fragile in the face of nature and fate. Furthermore, these stories highlight the importance of urban achievements such as the development of writing, the construction of monumental structures, temples and palaces, and the establishment of complex trade networks by portraying them as divine gifts or human accomplishments worthy of eternal remembrance. They reflect a deep sense of pride in their cultural innovations, from pioneering administrative systems to vast engineering projects that altered the landscape. In this way, the narratives serve both as historical records and as enduring symbols of the ingenuity and resilience of the Mesopotamian people. They reveal a civilization that was not only advanced in arts and sciences, but also deeply connected to its religious and mythological foundations, while in turn legitimized the rule of kings and the social order. So friends, we have completed all these question answers from theme 1, writing and city life. We have also studied the notes and summary of this chapter. You can find the link in the description and on the screen. If you like the video, kindly like it and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.